Hi, everyone. You're watching Entertainment with Jacqueline Murphy, and I'm Jacqueline Murphy. And I have a surprise guest for you. I'm so excited for you to meet her. Her name is Nike Imoru.
Hi.
And here she is, this beautiful lady. She's being celebrated around town and nominated for casting on the Oscar nominated film Train Dreams. Nike, please say hello to our audience.
Hello, and it's lovely to be here. Thank you, Jacqueline.
Oh, pleasure. Yes, thank you for making time in your busy schedule. I know you are in a hotel room taking the Zoom meeting right now, and you're doing more casting, which we all want to hear more about. But mostly we want to hear about you. Um, so, is there something you would like to share with the audience right now that's happening in your life that you're very excited about?
Yeah, let's see. I'm still excited about the nomination for the RTS Award for Train Dreams. Um, I'm still feeling the glow of that, but also for the whole project and the team that came together. It was nominated for 4 Academy Awards, and to have worked on that was one of the highlights of my casting career. So, yeah, and we're really busy here. I work in Washington State as a regional casting director. So even as I speak to you, I have producers, looking for to complete the casting project that I'm doing at the moment. So a busy time, yeah, and an exciting time, really.
You hear that, guys? You should all have Nikkei on your radar. Nikkei, you were nominated by the Casting Society for an award for Train Dreams and the casting with that.
That's right. I am the regional casting director for that film. Avi Kaufman cast the LA roles, and it was such an honor because the Casting Society of America RTS Awards is a peer, voting process. And so to be recognized for the work that we did regionally was absolutely wonderful.
Yes, especially when it's your peers. I'm a member of the Television Academy, and this time of year they have, you can submit your projects, and your peers vote on it. So, we all know how discerning when you're in the business people can be. But I want to give you a shout out. You looked absolutely amazing on the red carpet for the Casting Society. Just awesome. And I saw that on your Facebook page. And did you come to LA for that award?
Abs Absolutely. There's not always the time or the option, but I got together with a couple of friends and said, this is the one I'd really like to show up for. And they were, supportive so that I could get to LA and be there on that red carpet. And again, at the whole event, it was wonderful to meet with so many of my colleagues because we're scattered all over the country and other parts of the country as well. So we rarely get to come together, and this was a magnificent evening.
It's fantastic. And also, I'm sure you know that the Oscars gave the first award out this year for casting. So it's wonderful to be acknowledged. And you looked gorgeous on the carpet when I saw your clip that you had sent.
Thank you.
Um, oh, you're so welcome. So, what did the experience feel like for you to be part of this Oscar nominated team, Train Dreams?
So, yeah, to be clear, it's funny you say that because I suddenly thought, oh, yeah, everyone involved in that was part of the Best Picture nomination in some ways. And you forget that. I forget that. It was phenomenal. It was, for me, I'm not really looking at awards so much, and to track all its awards, it just kept on racking up these nominations and winning various awards was incredible. When and you'll know this as well, Jacqueline, when we're making the film, we're not really thinking about uh,
Exactly.
awards. We're thinking about telling this story and bringing it to life for an audience. And so to hear of any nomination is wonderful. And it was the state, the entire state was rooting for it once it was as the nominations racked up.
Yes, yes. And, for those of you who don't know, Nikkei is the go-to person in Washington State for the local casting. And she's done some phenomenal work. The sci-fi zombie movie Z, is that correct?
Yeah, Z Nation, that was the five season TV series, yes.
And she works with various producers in Washington. But yes, it's so true what you say about awards. Like, okay, so behind me, I have awards I've won for various films and projects I've worked on. But I never thought that I would win anything. I didn't start out wanting an award. I just wanted to write a film. In the case of The Admired, my first film, it's a short. It was about old Hollywood, and an actress makes a deal with the devil to time travel back to 1940s Hollywood as a big star, but all isn't as what she thought. We just won awards, and then it became eligible to be on the TV Academy Primetime Emmy nomination in short form. But
Wow.
that, and the same thing with Sorceress of Hollywood. So we get involved in these projects in the business, and you put your heart into it. And so what do you think, Nikkei, is the thing that gives you the most joy or the passion or keeps you going in this business?
Yeah, that's a great question. And thank you for sharing about your own work. I think we do. We dive in and we love the work and there are outcomes that we attach to or not, but we're not necessarily starting out with those desired outcomes.
Yes.
I think for me it's the deep love of the actor. I've spent my life working on, writing about, working with actors. And so that honestly is what keeps me going. In fact, I have a nickname, a sort of moniker that I have, which is that I'm the patron saint of actors. And I've been the patron saint of actors for about 30 something years. And so in my classes, that's sort of what I'm known as, the patron saint of actors. And attached to that is the fact that I really am in service, not just to casting actors. It's not just about that, but it's about being deeply invested in the growth and development and understanding of actor training. And so quite simply, it's actors that keep me in love with and attached to the industry.
That is amazing. Well, your energy for the actors you work with to call you the patron saint of actors, I imagine there's a certain amount of gratefulness and growth and opportunities that you've helped open the door for them or be confident enough to walk through a door and give a very good audition and book it.
Yeah.
Now you're so multifaceted. I just don't know where to start. You're an actor. You've been on stage with beautiful reviews. You were in academia for a while. So, pick one of the things you want to share with Entertainment with Jacqueline Murphy audience that's special and important to you.
I think, it's all special in a different way, right? As a teacher, I think between being a stage actor and probably working as a teacher with actors, I mean, that's where I find my passion is in the studio. Um, and it's the least glamorous part working in the studio. It's the place where there's this deep relationship with the actor and the teacher, and we're really trying to understand and deepen and develop the craft of the actor. That's probably, yeah, we don't need to talk about me as an actor, but my studio space and growing actors, as I call it, developing actors is what I'd like to focus on. So maybe we could do that.
Sure, yeah. So, do you have classes once a week? Tell
Yeah,
us about that.
yeah, the Actors Way is a studio I've had for about 20 years, and it's really probably longer. And I set it up to find a space where all my research around the actor could find its meeting point in actors. I unfortunately don't teach once a week at the moment because I'm so busy with other projects, but what we're working on, I should say the focus of the studio now is the somatic experience and actors being in their bodies. So it incorporates everything to do with the senses and the physical body and how we move through the world in our bodies, or how the body can be censored, which can be an impediment to how we work as actors. And so we probably meet now about once a month. And just usually it's actors I've worked with for a while that need a tune up or just a reminder about how to be present in their bodies, how to put down the digital devices, how to meditate, how to be kind to the nervous system, even how to be aware of the nervous system, how it's acting and reacting, how it's informing the work, how we develop a sense of presence. Yeah, there's a lot of work that I love doing around actor training and acting for the stage or acting for the screen.
Hmm. And how did you get into the somatic aspect of that, using the body in acting?
It was really, I've always worked in physical or dance physical theatre, and that's from home, from England. And so I've always taken a deep knowledge of the body into all work I've done with actors and with myself. It's really where I start, that before the text, there is a body that's breathing, that's pulsating, that's active, that's maybe inactive, that we want to bring awareness and presence to even before the spoken word. And so that's a practice that I've brought with me from Europe and
Hmm.
that I has developed and continues to develop. So now there's a lot of work around and talk about embodiment. And I've also studied with therapists, although I'm not a licensed therapist. But
Hmm.
in order to deepen my work with the actor, I wanted to have a language of therapy that I could bring together with somatic work.
Yeah. So, I mean, you've had quite the international upbringing and experience. Yeah. I
Yeah,
mean, you were born in London, or,
I
and
was
then,
born in London.
I read something about Nigeria. Is that correct?
Right. My parents are Nigerian, so I was raised in England and for a brief while in Nigeria and then back to England. And then really from about around the time of my PhD, I started to travel around the world and also perform. So uh, yeah, not unusual in Europe to do an awful lot of traveling. And so I've worked on most continents. I haven't worked in Australia or New Zealand.
Ah, and they're doing a lot of films these days.
Yeah, that's that. Yeah, note to self. I might need to pop over. I've actually got a friend in New Zealand who invited me over recently, so I'm hoping that might be my next stop.
Oh, it's beautiful. My husband and I visited there 2 years ago, and it's so green and lush, and some areas are so, it's like being in paradise. It's untouched in many ways. So I think that that'll give you a real different cultural perspective if you
Yeah,
make your way over there.
yeah,
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah. So your academic journey growing up, kind of did it inform your casting and your acting and what you do today?
It did because part of the PhD thesis was about performing, and the other part was more history, African American history, and performance and cultural production. And the other part, again, was about the actor, and woven into that were, bodies, what happens to bodies through history and over time. So I think I've always just had a fascination with the body and the actor's body and how different bodies evolve, develop, are seen through performance, different cultures and different ages. Fascinating to me.
Yes. What was this your PhD in? What do I have to call you Dr. Nikkei?
No, that's okay. That's okay. We can just stick to the patron saint of actors.
I
That's
like that. Yes, but what was your specialty? Like for myself, I have an RN degree. I
oh,
started out as a registered nurse and went to acting school and then started playing nurses on all the New York soap operas and jumped from there to medical consultant and then playing lawyers on Law and Order and then opening the door to act and then make films. So I'm very interested in your journey, Nikkei, because it's so multifaceted, and I wanted to share it with the audience and also, to inspire them to keep dreaming and go for what they really want.
oh
So,
my goodness. That is fascinating. I love hearing about your journey because I'm totally into the idea that, we keep evolving and there are these incredible crossovers. And my PhD in England, it's by thesis predominantly, is looking at cultural production in the 18th and 19th century from slavery through to the 1970s by predominantly by women. So cultural production by African American women from slavery into the through to the 1920s, the Harlem Renaissance, and into the 70s.
mhm, mhm. And is there anything in that would inspire you to write a screenplay or want to work in a specific type of project that would be very gratifying for you?
Oh, such a good question. Yeah, I don't know if I would write. I don't really see myself as a writer of fiction, but I would love to direct a dance or movement narrative that involves black and brown bodies telling story through history and through time. I mean, that would be an absolutely captivating experience for me because I love bodies. I mean, I speak through bodies. I find languages. I find it easier to understand and speak the language of the body almost than the written word. And I love the written word. I used to speak five languages. So language and bodies, I often say the body is the text. The body really is the text.
So, can you give us an example, as simple as possible, like how you would speak through the body or get to that source inside yourself?
Yeah, and more than inside myself, inside of another person, I'm looking for, as I would with actors, I'm looking for the impulse. And so I would have um, an element, if we can call it a trigger, not a negative. We could, what's
What lights you up or a trigger, like what lights you up or
yeah.
causes you to focus and pay attention, or like, oh my God, that everything else falls to the side?
Absolutely. What awakens an individual in order to create an impulse? And it
Mhm,
might be that I throw a ball, a soft ball at the side of the head just to see how the body will respond in that moment, whether it's with joy, whether it's surprise, shock,
mhm,
fear, just what impulses arise before we block
mhm,
and drop a mask, and finding the difference between the masked response to the world and the impulse and the impulsive response to the world through movement, I think is beautiful, even without music. And so that's how I would begin to create story before language is looking for pre expressive pre-language moments that can also tell story, pre-linguistic moments that can tell story. I love that.
That is so fascinating. Now, do you coach with actors specifically, along with teaching your class and casting and doing everything else you're doing?
I really I don't have the time. I used to coach actors one-on-one. I really don't have the time anymore. I'm sort of expanding the studio to start directing for the theater again, but really the work in somatic experiencing with the actor is what's taking up my time at the moment in terms uh, and also writing about that and then casting. So that takes up quite a bit of time now.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So are you able to share with our audience what you're casting these days?
We can never share the actual projects, but yeah, I'm in the middle of casting a really sweet, family-friendly film, and that's been great fun to cast. Quite a big cast as well. So I've been casting that in Washington State. And there's always projects on the horizon. But Jacqueline, they come and they go. You can be working on a project and watching it gather momentum, and then for whatever reasons, it doesn't manifest, it doesn't happen. But then another one that's in the distance comes forward. So
Mhm.
I've always got projects that are bubbling and that I keep a gentle eye on. And yeah, we have quite a few in Washington State. I feel really good about the rest of 2026 in terms of casting in Washington State.
Now, does an actor have to live in Washington State to be cast in a movie that you're working on?
It, it depends. If we are utilizing the incentive from Washington Filmworks, hello, Washington Filmworks, who do great.
Hello, Washington. Yes,
Every,
I read that someone you were meeting with through the Washington Film Incentive wanted you to cast him in the movie. It was either a senator or a congressman or something like that. I thought that was really funny.
it was a
Everybody
lot.
wants to be a movie star.
Everyone wants to be a movie star. It's great. And the good thing is that, when you're working regionally, everyone has an opportunity to get on those sets. It might be as an extra, it might be in a small speaking role, but, as we move towards embracing real people as well in our casting process. So if Washington Filmworks is, supporting a film in terms
Mhm,
of a rebate or tax incentive, then yes, it becomes important that we're using Washington State actors.
mhm.
Yeah.
Okay. And then what advice would you give actors auditioning today with all the changes, Nikkei, that's gone on in the industry, with streaming and contraction? Do you have anything that might increase their hope?
I think so. And Jacqueline, I mean, we were lucky enough, I think, weren't we, to come through different phases of the casting process. Um, and it is very changed now. I really would say, one, take a class and be informed. I think it's so easy now to submit to almost anything without an agent even. But I would
Yes.
say, you know, give yourself a real chance by taking a class, being informed, and being clear about what it is the casting director is asking for. And when I say take a class with a casting director, someone who is verified, who is authentic, and knows about the process of casting, knows about the industry, and do the work to find out who that is. That's the first thing I would say. And then the second thing is, it's not like TikTok. Don't expect to become a viral sensation immediately. Be prepared to invest in terms of time to get where you want to go. So do the work and find out what that work entails. And don't give up. That's what I would say. Don't give up. Keep going.
I think that's great. I think that's so true and such wonderful advice. Thank you for that. So you have a lot of fans, and what do you think is something that your fans may not know about you? I had to throw in a few fun questions.
That's great. Let's see. I think, yeah, what don't they know about? They probably don't know about my love of all things nerdy. I am really into BTS, the Korean boy band. I am super
Oh
into
my God, yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
Hello Kitty. I'm really into Hello Kitty. Um,
Wow.
so those are the things I'm really into. There are some aspects of popular culture that I'm really, really into. I think most people sort of associate my work with, I don't know, Somatic and Shakespeare and having a PhD, but there are parts of popular culture that I just love. So yeah.
Well, I'm getting the feeling that you may love to dance. Is that right? Or
I do. I don't do a lot of dancing now I think about it. I don't I love I don't that's a really good question. I love dancing. I absolutely love dancing. I don't know why I don't do it more often, but I do love dancing. Yeah.
I do as well. One of my fantasies, Nikkei, was to audition and get on Dancing with the Stars.
There you go.
They have tapings here in LA, and I actually went to a few of them. Um, and what I'd like to close with two different questions here.
Hmm.
Uh, what is next for you that we should be excited about?
Hmm. Yeah. Uh I don't know if I can share everything about what's next, but I'm really looking forward to publishing more about the somatic experience. And yeah, I think that's all I can share.
Okay.
There's a project that I'm developing around diversity and black and brown bodies within stage and screen. And I'm really looking forward to getting more into the writing, nonfiction writing, and just sharing more of my work in that area. I'm excited about that.
Oh, I wish you luck. That sounds exciting. Did the movie Sinners with Michael B. Jordan and Ryan Coogler have any sort of effect? I'm sure it had an effect on you if you want to share anything from that.
Yeah, I mean, I saw that film twice. I loved every aspect of that film. I think, like most of my friends, I'm still processing it. I could take any frame or any moment of Sinners and wax lyrical about how it connects to so much around not just Black culture, but history, and the history of oh, I don't know, you name it, really. It was beautiful. And the music in that, the bodies in that, the portrayal of bodies and the stories that they tell, every aspect of that is profoundly layered with with resonant meaning. I loved that film. Yeah.
Yeah. So, getting when you read a script like Train Dreams, what are you first looking at as a casting director
The
to
story,
the story?
the
And
story.
And then how do you balance instinct versus collaboration with the directors and the producers that you're working with?
Wow, that is a beautiful question. How do I balance instinct versus collaboration? That in itself is a collaboration. There's an agreement and there's deep listening that has to happen because I am there to serve the director, not my instinct, not my intuitive hits.
Mhm,
And
mhm.
so, as the director comes forward with the idea, I look to see where maybe my subjective and intuitive understanding of the script melds with his understanding as the director, or in the case of Train Dreams, his understanding. It's a relationship. It's a conversation that happens between the two of us.
Mhm. And would you just say when you were casting, what made an actor stand out to you in the auditions for Train Dreams?
Actors that were grounded, present, at ease, and they were available to the story rather than trying to impose any meaning of the story. It's so hard to explain, but it's as though the words flowed through them without them having to push too hard.
That's really beautiful. And so when you identified that, um, did you look for chemistry between different actors when you were building the cast?
Yeah, this is a different sort of ensemble. So, you know, there wasn't a lot of interaction that required that sort of chemistry read with the roles that I was casting.
Mhm.
But there was a need to have a sense of nature, have a sense of something just beyond the self and psychological realism, having a sense of awe, having a sense of wonder. And that was also something that I was looking for to see if an individual could carry that over into the
That's
story.
That's amazing, okay, because my next question is like Train Dreams is such a subtle, poetic film. And how did that tone influence your casting choices? So I think you answered it with that, but maybe is there anything you want to add to it?
I remember when Clint and I were first talking, and he said to me, "What was your first instinct about the script?" And I said, "Magical realism meets the blues."
Wow, that is a great combination.
Yeah. And that's what I kept coming back to in the casting as well. This is a world of magical realism meeting the American blues somewhere, somehow.
Hmm. And was there a moment, Nikkei, during the casting when you knew this film was something special?
As soon as I met Clint Bentley, as soon as I met him, I knew there was something else going on. There was just something different about the way he viewed the telling of story that was very unique, very unique.
Could
I can't, because it was literally magical realism meets the blues. And each moment there was just a space, there was something that opened up in the collaboration process that was very gentle, very real, very grounded. And
that
that was,
sounds
yeah.
Yeah, that sounds so beautiful. Uh, and then, so with this recognition by the Casting Society for the Artois Award, how does that impact you and your team now going forward?
Well, it's a great honor. And it
Yes.
just confirms that the work we're doing well, that it's recognized, and we should keep striving to do what we do.
Um, have you worked with Abby in the past on any projects, or was this the first project you worked together on?
This was this was the first project I'd worked with her on. Yeah.
Mhm. And let's see. Uh, so, as we come to a close, I'm just wondering, is there anything else you would like to share with the audience, or perhaps tell us how we could stay connected to you and follow your work, which is so beautiful?
Thank you so much. Well, thank you for having me. It's been a real pleasure
Oh,
to talk about my work. I think the best way to follow me is my Facebook, Nike
mhm,
Imoru Artist.
mhm.
I'm also on Threads,
Okay.
and I can be found also on Substack. I've just started with the Substack. They're all under my name, so I'll be easy to find.
Okay. And what about LinkedIn? Are you on LinkedIn or?
I am on LinkedIn, but I'm not great on LinkedIn, but I can definitely also be found on LinkedIn, yes.
You hit me as such a sensory, intuitive, magical person that, like, I can't imagine, all these different apps and AI things. You can go down so many rabbit holes.
Yes.
But you hit me as the person that just wants to be out there experiencing life and the awe and the beauty in it. And I'm a nature lover. I live at the ocean in Santa Monica. So for me, a little dose of nature every day is so important. And of course, meeting such a lovely, beautiful person and soul like yourself. So thank you so much for joining us today on Entertainment with Jacqueline Murphy, the lovely Nike Imoru. Watch
Thank you.
out for her, guys. It's just been such a special day, and just want to give a shout out to June Clemens, my acting friend who we met through, who raved about Nikkei. That's how she came on my radar. She did a film in Washington. So lovely to meet you, and wish you so much more continued success. And I'll look forward to our paths crossing again.
Thank you so much, Jacqueline. Thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure.
Oh, you've been a pleasure. Thank you, Nikkei. All right.
Thank you.